BPHCT 131 Mechanics. Block 1 Mathematical Preliminaries. Unit 1 Vector Algebra 1. Unit 2 Vector Algebra 2. Unit 3 First Order Ordinary Differential Equation. Unit 4 Second Order Ordinary Differential Equation with Constant Coefficients. Appendix Basic Concept of Calculus. Contents Block and Unit Titles, Credit Page, Content, Mechanics Course Introduction. Block 1 Mathematical Preliminaries. Unit 1 Vector Algebra 1. Introduction. Scalars and vectors. Scalars, vectors, equality of vectors, unit vectors and null vectors. Vector algebra, addition of vectors, subtraction of vectors, products of vectors, scalar product, vector product, summary, terminal questions, solution and answers. Unit 2, Vector Algebra 2, Introduction, Vector Components in the Cartesian Coordinate System, Unit Vectors in the Cartesian Coordinate System, representing a vector in terms of its component, scalar and vector products in component form, scalar product in component form, vector product in component form, vector functions, defining vector functions, derivative of a vector functions, summary, terminal questions, solution and answer. Unit 3, First Order Ordinary Differential Equations, Introduction, Classification and Solution of ODEs, further classification of first order ODEs, general solution and particular solution, separable first order ODEs, method of separation of variables, method of substitution, first order homogeneous ODEs, first order exact ODEs, first order non-homogeneous ODEs, summary, terminal questions, solution and answer, appendix on partial derivatives. Unit 4, Second Order Ordinary Differential Equations with Constant Coefficients. Introduction, some terminology, linearly independent solution and the 1-second. Method of exponential functions, real and distinct roots, real and equal roots, complex roots, summary, terminal questions, solution and answer, appendix basic concept of calculus, the concept of derivatives, the concept of an integral, table of physical constants, list of blocks and units BPHCT 131, syllabus mechanics BPHCT 131. Block 1 Mathematical Preliminaries. The first block of this course deals with the preliminary concept of vector algebra Unit 1 and 2 and ordinary differential equation Unit 3 and 4 that you will be using in this course. In your school physics and mathematics course, you have learned about scalar and vector quantities. For example, you know that length, mass, density and temperature are scalar quantities. You also know that displacement, velocity, acceleration, force and linear momentum are vector quantities. In Unit 1 entitled Vector Algebra 1, you will revise the definition of scalars and vectors and the geometrical representation of vectors that you have learnt in school. You will also revise the addition or subtraction of vectors and their scalar and vector products using the geometrical representation. Then you will study vectors and vector algebra in greater details in Unit 2 entitled Vector Algebra 2. You will learn how to express this vector algebraically in terms of their components with reference to a given coordinate system. You will also learn how to add, subtract and multiply vectors in their component form. It is essential that you study vector algebra in the algebraic form as you will be using this result very often in physics courses. In Unit 2, you will also study how to determine the derivatives of vector functions, that is vector which are functions of one or more scalar in a given region and their products. In Unit 3 and 4, we discuss the methods of solving ordinary differential equations. In Unit 3, entitled First order ordinary differential equations, we first present the basic definitions and classifications of ordinary differential equations, as well as the concept of general solution and particular solution. Then we discuss some methods of solving these equations along with examples from mechanics, radioactive decay and electrical circuits. Unit 3 contains an appendix on partial derivatives of a function of two or more variables. You should study it carefully before starting Unit 3. Unit 4, entitled Second Order Ordinary Differential Equations with Constant Coefficient. You will study the methods of solving such equations along with their application in oscillating system. Unit 3 and 4 may be entirely new for you. You should study them carefully and work out the example, SAQs and terminal questions given in them. We hope you enjoy studying and block, and once again wish you success.